Hello everyone, I want to talk to you about some basic tips for raising chicks and ducklings, chicks of different sizes. My tips are this, and some of these tips are specific to hot climates like where we live, but one thing I highly recommend is this water nipple drinker because it's way less messy. They just tap on it when they want some water. But with the kind that come out like this on the bottom with the water, they kick all their wood chips up into it, and it makes a huge mess, and your whole brooding area gets very messy. All you really need to start with chicks is a box of some kind, some wood chips, a heat source, and water and chick starter. It's important that your box has wood chips or something with very firm footing for baby chicks. If your footing is too slippery, like the bottom of a smooth box, or some other things like grain hull, something that's too slippery, then your chick's feet may start to get twisted. So you want to make sure that they absolutely have firm footing. The other thing that the wood chips do is absorb the poop. And then you want to dump the wood chips out into your compost or your garden about once a week to keep it fresh. So it's very important to have wood chips. Also, absorbs the smell. So for heat source, I'm not a huge fan of the heat lamps. This is my favorite. It's got a little poop on top, but this is made by Rent-A-Coop, and it has tons of adjustable heights. So when your chicks are just tiny, you can have them hiding under there when they're really small, and that keeps them warm. The nice thing about the Rent-A-Coop heat trays, which I have a bunch of, is that one, they're way lower on utilities, but the most important thing is you don't overheat your chicks. So when we first started doing chicks, we lost a few to them getting too hot or too cold. I always tell people, if you do use a heat lamp, make sure your box is super wide, like that one over there, and then hang it just on one side of the box and let them have the other side of the box where they can get away from the heat. These are my big chicks in here, and they don't really need heat anymore, but when I had the heater here, I hung it just on one side. And then they also have a water nipple drinker just sitting on top of an old can of paint. I'm not really a fan of the heat lamps because they also can be a high fire hazard. And then with really petite chicks like silkies, they're very temperature particular when they're small. So a heat tray just keeps the ideal temperature for you all the time. Heat tray is a little more expensive. It costs about 50 bucks on Amazon. It comes in like 2 days. These water things cost about $11, and there's the nipple that they tap on. So those are my two top recommended items for chicks. You can do a heat lamp, you can do a typical water thing. You just have a lot more cleanup, and you have to keep a very close eye on your chicks. The nice thing about these heat trays too is when you move your chicks outside when they're fully feathered at 8 weeks old, you can also plug this in with an extension, put it in your chicken coop, and they can still sleep under it at night. You can raise it up really high. So I do have some chicks that are outdoors, and they are about 2 to 3 months old, and some of them are still kind of a petite breed, so I have this all the way raised up, and they go sit under it at night for extra heat. So it's nice with really petite chickens to be able to give them a little extra supplemental heat even when they're ready to go outside. Another chick tip is don't let kids play with your chicks too early. I would say at least wait till they're a week, which these guys right here are a week. They have a few feathers coming in on their wings, but not very many. Wait till they're at least a week to kind of pick them up and put them out on a towel or something where they can look at them, but don't let them grab them or squeeze them at all. It's not too hard to internally injure a chick, and then it might not die immediately, but usually it starts to have issues and dies. I've had little 5-year-olds visit me and handle a chick for 2 seconds and had it die the next day, and I've had other children handle chicks and have them die. So really, by a month old is when they start to get more sturdy, and you just want to be respectful that they are tiny, tiny little creatures that are just growing. You don't want them to fall. These guys here are about 2 months old, so they have a lot of feathers. They're fully feathered, They could probably be moved outside at this point, but these guys here are a little bit more sturdy for handling. You can pet them on the head, you can hold them in your hand, but mostly we hold food out for them. We occasionally pick them up, but we hold food out for them, and that's what really builds that relationship with them, is giving them food. A little tip is I buy this 1 gallon sized nano silver, colloidal silver water off of Amazon. It's $119, but it's still a third of the cost of the Sovereign silver, which is good. So what I do with this, I keep it in a little jar like this, and then after I fill up the water, I can open it up and put about 2 tablespoons or so in the chick water, and that just supports their immune system, helps them fight off anything that might be irritating their body. If there's any maybe poop that they picked at, or like we just noticed this white one had a little bit of goo in its eye, a little sleep, so we just put more colloidal silver in their water, and that seems to help ward off anything before it comes. I especially like to do that with little chicks when they're developing and when they're going through changes and stress, getting moved outdoors, adding new chicks, other changes like that when their body's under more stress, or anytime I have the slightest concern, I just like to throw a little colloidal silver in their water. Some quick tips if you live in Arizona like we do. It's very hot here, so in the summer I recommend that you make sure that all of your chicken or duck feed has no corn in it, because corn will raise the body temperature. So some things about surviving summer in Arizona: remove all corn from their diet, and then just make sure your chickens or ducks have good shade. A little tree or bush to hide under is their favorite. That provides a lot of natural coolness from the ground, keeping the ground protected and moist, even better than a chicken coop would. A little green grass to play in too adds extra moisture if that's possible. The other thing is make sure their water is in a shady area, because the direct sun on the water really brings the temperature up. And then if you can, change their water in the hottest part of the afternoon around 2 or 3 o'clock. And if you have watermelon pills or rinds, those are some good things to throw out in the summer to cool them off. Some cold vegetables and such. But my chickens have always done well in the summer here in Arizona, and I've always fed them from the Phoenix Organic Feed Co-op. If you live in Phoenix, I highly recommend the Phoenix Organic Feed Co-op or any of the surrounding areas. It's a bi-monthly organic feed ordering group, and they use fishmeal in their feed instead of soy for the high protein content. So fishmeal imitates like bugs and things that chickens and ducks naturally eat in nature, whereas soy is not really an ideal food for chickens and ducks. It's just fed to a lot of livestock for its high protein content. But as you may know, chickens are not vegetarians, they're omnivores. So they will eat a variety of bugs, including cockroaches, scorpions, small mice, and other thick critters. So they are nature's pest control. So check out their website, Phoenix Organic Feed, and you can find the bi-monthly ordering schedule on there. When chicks are little, they need at least 18% protein or 20. That's because they're growing really rapidly. When they get to be about 4 months old, you can switch them to a 16% protein layer feed. Now, you want to make sure that the mainstay of their diet is not scratch feed and is not table scraps. They should eat table scraps. It's very nutritious for them to eat your extra eggs. And think about it this way: if it's not nutritious for you, it's not nutritious for them. So don't feed them potato chips. Don't feed them sugar or salty things, but do feed them your leftover meat scraps, your leftover sourdough bread, and things that don't have a lot of preservatives or sugar or salt in them. There are a few things that chickens should not eat, like chocolate or coffee or moldy food, avocado pills, avocado pits, raw potatoes. So those are a few things that you can look up exactly what chickens can and can't eat, but I highly recommend keeping a scrap bowl on your table, on your countertop in your kitchen, so that when everyone clears their dishes each day, they can scrape them all into a bowl, and then your chickens and ducklings can feast off of your extra good nutrition. And chickens can even eat chicken and eggs and even eggshells. I like to just take my eggs after I crack them and just crush them really small in my hand and then throw them in my chicken bowl for my chickens to eat. Some people like to sterilize them, dry them out, puree them, other things like that. I really don't have time for that, so I try to keep it simple. But chickens and ducks are great at recycling your table scraps for you. So this is my basic chick tips for you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more great videos. This is Chloe. Hope to see you again next time.